Today in New York, storm-canceled tickets spark a refund fight. A deadly Legionnaire's outbreak tests the Upper East Side. An unlicensed clinic is tied to a tragic death in the Bronx. A fiery protest outside the immigration court leads to federal arson charges, and Midtown construction projects face a citywide safety sweep. I'm Dean Bark. Welcome to the City Report in New York City. Let's start with this. Sail Forth, the nonprofit tall ships celebration with a Royal Air Force flyover over the harbor, is under fire from ticket holders after its premier access viewing on Governor's Island was canceled by storm damage on July 4th. Premier access was the high-priced tier. It cost more than $200 a seat and promised a prime vantage point and amenities. Here's what happened. Organizers canceled that premier section for safety, but the rest of the event went ahead. The parade of tall ships sailed, the raft flyover happened, and a separate VIP access event proceeded. People like Sarah Louise Petty, a ticket holder who bought premier access, were turned away, and 2.5 weeks later were told there would be no refunds. The nonprofit points to its terms of service and says it cannot afford to reimburse without jeopardizing the event's finances. Attendees call it unfair. The dispute boils down to this. The event wasn't fully canceled, but a specific paid benefit was. That is exactly where consumer protection questions come in. Did customers receive what they paid for, and what do the terms allow when weather knocks out part of the experience? Some are filing complaints and accusing organizers of bad faith. It's a raw deal when customers have to bear the brunt of a nonprofit's financial woes. 2 quick facts to keep in view. First, Sail Forth is a small nonprofit, not a major promoter with deep reserves. Second, safety decisions after storm damage are non-negotiable. No one wants spectators standing under compromised structures for a view of the harbor. But denying refunds while still hosting other tiers, including VIP, was always going to create outrage. That's the story right there. Moving on. The Upper East Side is dealing with a deadly Legionnaire's disease outbreak. As of today's update, 5 people have died and 82 cases have been confirmed across 3 UES zip codes. Legionnaire's is a severe pneumonia caused by inhaling water vapor containing Legionella bacteria. Think mist from cooling towers and large building systems, not person-to-person spread. The city's health department says inspectors have tested and disinfected affected cooling towers, and they are enforcing local laws that require ongoing maintenance. Officials add that aggressive action likely reduced exposure, with no new cases reported in recent days. That is encouraging, but as always with Legionella, vigilance matters, because these systems serve thousands of residents and workers in densely packed neighborhoods. On the policy front, the City Council is drafting a response. City Council Speaker Julie Menin, who represents the East Side, has called the Health Department's communication insufficient. Proposals on the table include a dedicated Legionnaire's hotline to centralize information, plus tighter enforcement and transparency around tower maintenance. A council hearing is expected in September. My take: the swift response is commendable, but this should be a wake-up call to harden the rules and the reporting around these systems. Looks like someone forgot the memo that bacteria do not take holidays. Let's pivot to the Bronx, where a tragic case is raising serious red flags about unlicensed medical practice. On July 19th, Elizabeth Barron, a patient at the Bereshit Lifestyle Center, received an infusion of NAD+, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, a molecule involved in cellular metabolism that's often marketed in anti-aging treatments. She lost consciousness almost immediately and later died at New York Presbyterian's Allen Hospital. Police say the infusion was administered by Luis Rojas Cabrera, who has medical credentials in the Dominican Republic and a physician assistant license in Puerto Rico, but not a New York license to practice medicine. According to the NYPD, Cabrera told investigators, "I made a very big mistake." He has been charged with reckless endangerment and unauthorized practice. The clinic has been shut, and the case awaits autopsy results and further legal proceedings. This highlights a persistent risk in alternative and holistic spaces where treatments can outpace oversight. NAD+ infusions are promoted widely, but rigorous safety and efficacy data are limited, and qualifications to administer them matter. My take: This is a stark reminder that medical oversight cannot be lax. Call it like it is, licenses exist for a reason. Shifting gears. Federal prosecutors have charged Andrew Arabaka, a 43-year-old Army veteran, with arson after a fiery protest outside the immigration court at 26 Federal Plaza. That's the Lower Manhattan complex where federal immigration hearings occur and where ICE is a frequent presence. Investigators say he set off fireworks and ignited a blaze on July 20th and later confessed, indicating he had planned the attack for months. Arabaka's defense team is seeking psychiatric evaluation, citing a history of mental illness. If convicted, the federal arson charge carries a mandatory minimum of 7 years. Two truths can sit side by side. Public safety requires accountability, and a veteran with mental health struggles needs an evaluation that fully informs the court. In my view, more mental health assessment here is not a luxury, it is necessary. Let's not overcomplicate this. All right, next topic. Midtown's skyline is getting a tough love inspection after a structural failure at 235 East 42nd Street on July 7th. City officials say columns buckled and reinforcing steel was apparently missing at that tower. That triggered a citywide safety blitz by the Department of Buildings, the DOB, focused on steel work and connections at active sites tied to Barone Steel Fabricators, a company that fabricates and installs structural steel. Here's the latest scoop. Hundreds of checks followed, with more than 150 inspections tallied in the surge, and steel-related work was halted at several locations pending review. The Department of Investigation and the Manhattan District Attorney are looking into what went wrong and who is responsible for any missing reinforcement. The overarching lesson is basic but unforgiving. Plans are written in ink for a reason, and steel is one of those places where improvisation is a very bad hobby. The incident underscores gaps that can open between design and execution if oversight slips. Shop drawings, field welds, bolt torques, and inspections all have to line up. My perspective: safety in construction cannot be a game of chance. Rigorous checks are non-negotiable, and when in doubt, you do not build up, you stand down. And that's your report for today from the City Report with Dean Bark in New York. Have a steady day and tune in tomorrow for more news.